So what is the right fit? What is the right college or university for you or for your student? Here are a few bullets that I put together of which I believe folks should consider before they go on to these colleges and universities. One is size. There are institutions in the United States with 500 students all the way up to 50,000 students. Smaller classroom settings represent, 20 to the professor, where the professor gets to know the student, hands-on, to 100, even 500 on the largest scale. You have to think about where you fit best. And that is, are you the type of student who has been in a small classroom setting all their life? And you learn better in that environment, so therefore you want a small institution. Or are you the type of student that, has been in a small classroom setting but is looking for the 500 in a classroom where the faculty member is lecturing with a podium and you're not interacting that much? I say there are pluses and minuses to both systems. There's also in the bigger universities there tends to be a variety of courses offered. But then again, so in some of the smaller institutions as well. In the smaller institution, you get a lot of individualized, personalized attention. Well, that's wonderful if you're looking for individualized, personalized attention. A PhD faculty member giving you that attention in a small classroom environment will, put you through the task. This is a pro working with you one-on-one. At the same time, I'm not sure if I wanted to find myself in a class of 500 taking organic chemistry. Some institutions, even if they're big, have worked around that right now and have done smaller group settings for these type of courses, but there's all still a possibility. So size, obviously, is very important. Setting. Are you looking for an urban, suburban, or rural environment? We have wonderful institutions and top-tier institutions in all these environments, but they're very different. Where do you come from? Are you from a big city like New York City? Are you the student that is going to be okay with having chemistry class on, the Lower East Side of Manhattan and having to take a train or a bus to 30th Street, which is many blocks away, to go attend your, dance class or something like that? Usually urban institutions, the city tends to be the campus, so they have facilities all around the campus. So as you look for the city is fast-paced, it's very noisy, it's a very different environment than it is in other environments where we have higher educational institutions. Suburban, well, that is the best of both worlds, they say. You're in the suburb where most, American families live, where this is where all Americans want to raise their kids, sort of a thing. And you might be in an enclosed campus where you are living in dormitory facilities that are right there on the campus, and you're just a few steps, you're in your classroom to take classes. Or, and you can always get in and out of the city with no problem. But that might be a little isolated for you because you might not want to be that far away from a city. Rural environments. Some people prefer to be in these sort of rural, there's some picturesque institutions in upstate New York. Beautiful. I know some of them are partner schools, they're spectacular, and there are in rural environments, and, I would definitely recommend them. They're top tier institutions, and you should definitely consider them. And, there is something to be said to be living in a beautiful sort of in campus, which is not around the hustle and bustle of a city. In some cases, it might be rural, but you might be an hour away from a city anyway. So anyway, as you're choosing a college or university, this is very, very important. The only thing I'd throw in here is also think about climate. In the U.S., we have all the seasons. You've probably heard this. We have, sort of warm environments. We have sort of cold environments. We have environments in between. And we have environments where it's warm all year round, and we have environments where they see, the spectrum, where it's very warm in the summer. Like, for example, New York, it's very warm in the summer, and in the fall it could be very, very cold, and in the spring it could be very, very nice. So again, it depends on, where you're thinking about going to school. If climate's an issue to you, you might want to consider that as well, because our universities are spread all around the United States. The type of school that you might want to consider. Are you looking for a a liberal arts institution, or are you looking for a major university research institution? Remember, I said, liberal arts is great too, but a research institution is wonderful as well. But again, they also tend to be a little larger, so you have to consider, both sides of the coin. You might be a student who wants to go to a single-sex institution. You don't want to be among other, genders. You want to go to a single-sex. So there's also something in the U.S. called historically black colleges, which are wonderful institutions as well. So as you are looking for a college or university, the type of school that you might be considering might be an important reason. Of course, also the major. If you're interested in a specific major, obviously that institution has to have it, and something that might be important to you. Now, you jump down to this other point here that we have athletics. Well, you're now looking for an institution that has, the major and the program of athletics that you like. You might be a soccer player, you might be a baseball, basketball player. I don't know, but these things might be important to you because, again, remember, in our educational system, we have the gambit of opportunities for academic programs as well as student life programs. Campus facilities might be important to you. Do most students live on the campus? Do they even have residence halls? We do have commuter institutions in the United States. Also, as you're looking for campus facilities, are freshmen, I don't know if you're getting a car, but are freshmen allowed to have cars on campus? These are the big ones that come up. How important is the food? Or do they have international students? Do you need a kosher meal with your meal? Is this something that's important to you as well? Are they handicap accessible? These are the things that come up. I want to bring up another point because I kind of jumped over athletics. There are 3 divisions in the United States. There's Division I, Division II, and Division III. Division I offers student scholarships. Division II does as well, but not as much as Division I. And Division III are not allowed to offer student scholarships for athletic purposes. But, let me talk a little bit about that. Division I schools, well, this is where if you see a person graduate and go on to the NBA, they usually go to Division I schools. Or they go become professional baseball players, they go to Division I schools, which means that these coaches are really recruiting these students, so they're after the students really early in the process. There's also another layer of sort of responsibility for an applicant. Each student has to go through the NCAA clearinghouse. And these are just additional things that you have to consider as you're applying to schools because there are some specific requirements, particularly if you're going off to a Division I institution. Special programs, a little bit about, if you need, some more support academically. Do they have a support programs? For example, if you're suffering from a learning disability, which is quite common in the United States, there are institutions that have support programs for learning disabled students. So, you need to find that out as well and inquire about what kind of services are available on a campus. Campus life, are there fraternities, sororities? Fraternities are groupings of students who live in the same house, same area, where, they do a lot of community service, they gather, and some institutions have that. Sororities are for females. So some institutions choose that they don't want to have these facilities on their campus. They sometimes think that these sort of fraternities and sororities tend to divide the community in some way or another. But both environments exist in the United States. So if it's important to you, it is available for you in our educational system.